Hi, my name is Keith Budden. This is the latest in the series of videos about GDPR. As you probably know by now, I'm planning to do one of these broadcasts every day between now and May the 25th, GDPR Day, when it all becomes firmly reality for everyone. And I'm picking a different topic every day, sometimes something which occurs to me, sometimes something which appears from conversations during the day. And today, I'm going to concentrate on data subject access requests. So when someone makes a request from you for the information that you have about them. Now, there's two parts to this, I think, that are worth considering. The first is absolutely crucial that you make any public-facing member of your team, whether they're formally public-facing, like, I don't know, a receptionist or a salesperson, or whether they're not so formally public-facing, but they nonetheless do come into contact with customers and clients and suppliers and members of the public. So maybe the man who works in your warehouse, maybe the forklift truck driver in your warehouse, could be anyone. I would say make every single person in your company aware of GDPR, aware of data requests, and aware of the importance that they record a data request if one is made. Why is that important? Well, because once a data request is made, you have 30 days to provide the information about the person who's made the request, the data subject. And that 30 days is pretty well fixed in stone, bar a major fire, flood, or other force majeure. Really, you're stuck with 30 days, so you ought to always work with 30 days. So you need to think about how you're going to action that, and obviously part of that is being very important that as soon as a data request is made, a set of processes, a set of procedures is set in action to retrieve the data from that person, to make sure, of course, that the person is who they say they are, because you certainly don't want to reveal all the information to the wrong person. And then how are you actually going to present that information out to the person? Because what's quite important is that whilst they're entitled to see pretty well all of the documentation that you hold about them, and remembering again that that's not just online documentation, it's anything that might be written in somebody's notebook, it's anything that might be written on paper somewhere else. If there are contact numbers on your employees' mobile phones and you supply those mobile phones, then that's eligible data too. So you need to be able to collate all that information and present it in a form which is going to be acceptable to the person requesting the information. Now, the regulations only say that it has to be in English and it has to be easy to understand. What I would add on to that, I think, is that if there are any industry terms which are unique to your industry, or any acronyms that you use that might not be familiar to members of the public, in fact, probably best to assume that all acronyms aren't familiar to members of the public, then within the documentation that you give to the person, make sure you include a glossary of those terms so that they can understand what they mean. You also need to be sure, of course, that you're only revealing the information about the person themselves and not about other people. So you may need to carefully read documents and redact parts of the document which are about other people. If the record is actually of a conversation, a transcript of a conversation, then you are allowed to redact the names of who said a certain thing, but you can't redact the thing itself. So that it must flow as a conversation. But again, obviously, what you can redact as well, having said you can't, what you can redact is any information within that conversation that's actually about other people. So it's actually quite complicated to reply to a data request typically. And remembering that you've only got 30 days to do it. And within those 30 days, you've also got to verify the person is who they say they are, and you need a procedure for doing that. So you need a procedure for saying, what documents are we going to ask to see from this person so that we're satisfied this person is who they say they are before we release the information to them. But the important point here, and I can't stress it enough, is that the 30 days starts from when they first make a request. So if they first make a request, but it takes another 2 weeks for them to verify who they are, that's your problem and not theirs. So I would say, as soon as a data request is made, make sure you record it, have a data request register, so you record who's made data request, record what you found, record how you sent it to the person. Now, one final thing I will say on data requests here is that you are only required to provide the information in the UK in English. If the data subject's first language is not English, then that's their problem. They need to get that document translated into their language that they can understand. But it's not your problem. You only need to provide it to them in English. But as I say, making sure that any industry terms or any acronyms are fully explained. Now, once the person has that information, they do have the right to challenge it, or to question it, or to request corrections. But I'll come on to those in a later broadcast as we head through April. So that's all for now. If you want to know more, please do have a look at my online course. I'll put the link into the comments. If you are going to do the online course and you're watching this live now, then you've got 7.5 hours left to get the whole course and all the documentation at the special price of £27 instead of the normal price of £97. But you've only got until midnight, and as I speak, there are only just over 50 memberships at that price left. So I would say, if you're watching this live and it's still Bank Holiday Monday and you want to get it at that bargain price, go to the link that's in the comments, enter the code Easter Bunny at the checkout, and it's on the second page of the checkout. There's a box to enter the discount. Enter Easter Bunny and you get it for £27 instead of £97. Absolute bargain. And I can 100% assure you this offer will not be repeated. After midnight tonight, the course will not be available for £27. So that's it for now. I hope you've had a good bank holiday. Hope you've had a good Easter weekend. And I'll speak to you again tomorrow. Bye for now.